Drivers there is 3 to 8 Keith Riley. So
now the blue top, just one blue top in this first heat. Keith Riley in 3:28. There were supposed to be 3 others, Mark Brown, Jim Smith and Jake Wright. Only one has arrived. Red top's going past Willie Harrison, plus 286 John Toulson, 452 is Joe Jopling, and looks like 92 also George Braithwaite. Cars coming down onto the home straight here. It's a D-shaped circuit here, though. So not much to a back straight, to a home straight rather. One problem already, Phil Bicknell's onto the infield as this first heat gets underway. The first 8 go through to the final here. Yellow's in trouble as well. Gary Heap getting caught on the turn, back wheel spinning helplessly. There's a tyre in the middle of the track as 64 pulls away. There's Jopling and Berresford battling it out, avoiding the number 7 car of Phil Bicknell, stranded on the inside line. The race leader then, 181, Jerry Walker, the white top, going past a couple of the yellows that be in trouble. That really is now a chicane on that turn. Gary Heap still in plenty of trouble, almost in heaps of trouble. The 2 red tops going through, Berresford taking a clout from Joe Jopling, who in turn ends up on the centre green. You may notice that there's a red and white tape being strung up along the edge of the rugby pitch. They're not supposed to go on there, but I don't think there's much room left on the track at the moment on one of the turns to avoid going onto the pitch. 181. Jerry Walker going through on the inside of car 64 yards up, catches his front wheel. Certainly spectacular action in the opening minutes of this race here. And Willie Harrison getting spun out by John Toulson. So no mercy being shown to Willie in the opening stages, the veteran racer. Good to see him back in racing and taking the knocks. Well, that really is getting confusing there. Terry Davis just pulling out of the trouble in the yellow top 458 car. And there is the overall shot of it with Joe Jopling's car parked on the inside. 3 on the outside, leaves just about 1 car width to get the cars through. They have got a very standard yellow flag out, very unmoving yellow. Now it's being waved. It looks indeed as if Jerry Walker in 181 has got the emblem of a particular movement on the front of his car. In the meantime, the drivers get out of the wreckage. So they have to go around now in single file with the yellow flag being waved. It's 181. Just behind him, Mick Crocker and Rob Allen in the single file at the moment. Red top just behind them, looks like John Toulson. Another white before we come to Dave Berresford, Willie Harrison. Then a string of yellows and whites as the wreckage is finally cleared. In the meantime, we've lost also the blue top of Keith Riley. Well, I don't know what his comments are on that crash there, but not a very good start to the season here at Sheffield for him. Still makes excellent action. Starter still holding out the yellow. No overtaking. Oh, he's lost his wheel there. That was the wheel that was lost on the track. Keith Riley's car.
No, we're having another one round. Sorry about that.
Well, it looks now as if they may be ready to restart the race very soon. There is a red top out, parked on the back straight. And the green is just being hidden behind that yellow flag. There is a yellow flag in front of it as the wind catches it, you can see. So the starter's ready to drop the green and get the race back underway. The main question is, though, can that white top of Jerry Walker hold off the challenge of the cars behind, because it's all been regulated now. Any margins that were there before have all been reduced or, in very few cases, increased as the cars all go into a single file. One of the tyres in the infield's been caught, the yellow top in trouble. That's the one that clouds it, car number 34. With Mark Brown. He was listed down under the blue tops, but indeed races as a yellow here. There's the race leader, 181, Jerry Walker. Looking for 12 points out of this first race, and I will tell you that in Formula 1's last year, it took 31 points to get into the yellow top by the end of the season. The minimum yellow was 31. So a couple of race wins, if you can get them, will set you well on the way. Mick Crocker now being headed by Berresford, the red top superstar driver, carving a good line through on the inside. There he goes, Bez himself, number 260, followed by Willie Harrison. So we've got a cluster of reds all together there. Berresford in 260, Harrison in 2. He's going to collect Rob Allen's car in 293. So Willie Harrison getting into trouble once more. Keith Riley's wheels still in the thick of the action on the outside. Harrison gets back into the race. Well, there's one white top that's getting out in the action. I think he's had enough so far. Berresford looking good with the trouble for many of the whites and yellows. Looks like a clear run now for Dave Berresford. The leader is 181, Jerry Walker. Dave Berresford second in 260. Third is 286, John Toulson. Looks like Mick Crocker in fourth. And Willie Harrison, despite all the spin-outs and problems, looks to be coming up into fifth place. There is Toulson in third, chasing Berresford. It looks like a good race for Berresford, because he's got all the reds behind him. He's just now got to catch that white top of 181, Jerry Walker. Coming off now the fourth turn in the 16-lap race. Beresford's in there now looking for the attempt to put the bumper in. A good pacey track here at Sheffield, producing some excellent racing. Berresford now has got Walker in his sights. Now, of course, Berresford could get himself into trouble here as he tries to edge Walker out of the way, and that could be the chance for Toulson to get through, because Berresford is now becoming a metal sandwich there as he tries to go in on the 181. 286 just behind him is trying to edge him out as well. He'll easily get caught by both sets of bumpers. Berresford just hammering away at the back of Jerry Walker's car as they go down into the turn. Looks almost like they're welded together. Now that is the thing, is he trying to push him into the wreck car on the inside of Joe Jopling? Just missed him. I think Beresford's temptation would be to try and put Walker's car well out of the way behind one of the parked cars. Trouble is, he might get himself in equal problems. Excellent race here at Sheffield. Beresford's got the gap on the inside now. Toulson's looking for it as well. Beresford just clearing the 328 car of Riley. And he's away, coming down the home straight. 260. Dave Berresford hits the front. Going through on the inside of back marker now, Phil Bicknell, but the race is still on because John Toulson's in second place with a very determined drive in car 286. The two red tops first and second in a cracking heat one here at Sheffield. Berresford is opening up a lead now over Toulson, although he may get slowed by some of the back markers, in which case that 286 car is going to close in. Toulson not in the top 10 last year here at Sheffield. Beresford top with 189 against Frankie Wainman's 133 points. Those are the stats from the 84 season at Sheffield. And those 189 points formed a small part of those 1,704 points overall. Beresford just having to avoid the parked car as he comes back into the turn, and Toulson's closing in again. Beresford's pulling away on the straights, but Toulson seems to catch him on the bends. Into the closing stages of the race now. The 4-lap marker now being put out for Dave Berresford. 4 laps to go. Toulson following him all the way. Toulson is second. It's difficult to see the third at the moment. Harrison has got about 4 cars between him and the other 2 red tops. Some of those are back markers. Looks like Willie's going to get in the points in his return to stock car racing. Just under 3 laps to go now in this absorbing race between Dave Berresford and John Toulson. Duel in the sun, I might say, in a poetic frame of mind for the day. Berresford with the back end coming out around the turn, coming inside the white tops. 2 to go now. Toulson looking for the opportunity just to get that bumper in. Push Beresford's back of the car around, and then Toulson would have the gap. Trouble is, if he tries to spin them out, he can easily get caught by the front end of the car. Beresford holding the best line there. Toulson just blocked completely. There's 145 just being left and lapped. Dave Berresford then from Hyde in Cheshire is heading home for the win on the final lap now here at Overton. He's got a 3-car length advantage now over Toulson going into the turn, so the 286 car is not going to be able to get the bumper in around the final bend, barring any mistakes, which I don't think are going to come from a driver like Berresford. It's a win. Dave Berresford wins the first race here at Sheffield. Second place, number 286, John Toulson. Well, I think you'll agree that was an excellent race. John Toulson challenging all the way, and those 3 cars, when the 2 red tops were trying to pass Jerry Walker in the 181 white top, produced some excellent action. John Toulson making a race of it, but Dave Berresford, the top-rated driver in that race, coming up with the goods, so you might say they're the favourite one. So Berresford records 12 points out of his first heat, with the man in 286, John Toulson, picking up 10 on the point-scoring system.
Doing a bit of smoking now.
Well, here now is the official result of Heat 1. The top 8 are as follows. First place, 260 Dave Berresford. Second, 286 John Toulson. Third place, Willie Harrison in car number 2. Fourth, 181. Correction here, it's not Jerry, it's Gary Walker. Fifth place, 430 Mick Crocker. Sixth, number 7, Phil Bicknell. Seventh, 334 Dave Atkinson. And 8th place, number 299, Pete Marsh. So I think I make that 4 white tops qualifying from the first heat. 181, Gary Walker. 430, Mick Crocker. 7, Phil Bicknell. And 334, Dave Atkinson. Not a bad start for the whites in the opening heat. Well, let's see how this one develops after the all-out action we had in heat 1. The yellows all coming past us now. 215 there, Geoff Nickolls. We just saw Pete Morton go through in 132. There is 474. That's Phil Hemmingway. And the Blues.
Showed a lot of promise, as we all know.
Once more, if you're a newcomer to stock car racing, the drivers line up in great order. The least scoring drivers tend to be the novices, or those that can only race occasionally. They're the whites. Then the next batch of drivers up are the yellows, then the blues, the reds, which are divided into stars and superstars. And then any champions such as national points or world champions, their silver and gold roofs respectively go at the back of the grid. So that's why you have 2 sets of red tops, because those are the stars just going past, and those are the superstars, the top 20 or members of the top 20 drivers. So the overall format is 20 superstars, or 20 red tops, of course it is. The top 10 are superstars. The green flag drops. Vic Milner's away in car 41. He's shown up well in recent meetings. He'll take a lot of stopping as he goes into the back straight. There's Peter Falding going through. One of the red tops heading onto the infield. That's Dave Mellor in 304. At the back, Bert Finnegan. Milner sets the pace in 41. Second is 219. Pete Lowe having a battle with the steering wheel going down the home straight. Third place in 429 is Hare. We don't have a first name. We do have an initial P. Hare in 429 coming through into second place. And indeed now Pete Lowe being left as one of the cars has just spun out. So Vic Milner in control at the moment. Richard Ainsworth just going through in 354. There's Dave Mellor, Bobby Burns, Peter Falding getting in the thick of things with his wheel up on the side of that yellow top car. And Falding in real trouble on that bend. And on the back straight is holding himself in. In the meantime, Ainsworth was just spun out, but there is the race leader, Vic Milner, 41. Pete Falding just heading onto the infield. Ainsworth back in the race. So there's real problems on that third and fourth bend. Bobby Burns coming through in front of Nigel Hardy. Bert Finnegan is not in view. That looks like, yes, Mike Close at 199. Then Richard Ainsworth 354. Rob Cowley on the right of the picture in the blue top 73. Hardy and Close mixing it now. That Close car borrowed by Lynn Wolfenden for the World Championship final at Bellevue last year. Bobby Burns from Milford in Essex, just in front of that pack going down the back straight. There is the race for first and second place. Vic Milner in car 41 from Hare in 429. Well, Pete Morton in trouble there, clearing out all the tyres out the way of everyone else and onto the rugby pitch. Well, just going through on past the touchline and breaking the tape barrier. Well, I don't know if they'll be taking a line out of that car. Of course, that doesn't happen in rugby league. In the meantime, 429 has hit the front. Hare is now out in front with Vic Milner second. Third place is Ian Higgins in Captain Chaos car 29. There is the race leader, Hare, going past one of the back markers. So far the challenge isn't developing too well. Bobby Burns is the leading red top. There you see him coming into the bend. Mike Close not too far behind. Nigel Hardy there as well. Dave Cusack in 535, the yellow top, and Richard Ainsworth just behind him. In the meantime, in, or rather 45, Alan Scudden is doing his best to go and meet some of his fans in the crowd. Completely spread-eagled on the wire ropes. So the 45 car well out of the race now after trying to take flies onto the dog track. Hare in 429 leads. Dave tapping there in the middle of those 3 cars, just behind Dave Taylor. They are currently half a lap behind that race leader, 429 Hare. Vic Milner making a race of it in second place. Third is Ian Higgins. Fourth, Mike Close. Fifth, Bobby Burns. That's the top race order at the moment. Not too far behind is Nigel Hardy, Peter Falding's car there parked on the infield once more. Getting back into the race. He's already had one spin out. Oh, almost catching the race leader. Well, I don't know what went through Hare's mind there as he suddenly saw the blue top loom across the track at him. I mean, So as those cars go down the back straight, you'll just be able to see in the distance that Danny Clarke's car has been abandoned. 2:03 out of the race then. Well, Mike Close now closing in on the race leader, the white top, and Close is through on the inside. 4:29 putting up very little resistance. Close is through in the 199 car. Second is Bobby Burns in 4:71. These two lining up together at the back of the grid early on. Of course, at the start of the race. Close from Burns. This should be an interesting one. Well, the Reds aren't having too many problems getting past the lower order cars so far this afternoon. We've had 3 qualifying the top 3 placings from Heat 1. Now we've got 2 in first and second here in Heat 2. Close from Burns. Peter Falding appears to be third, but of course has spun out a couple of times. Burns second, then it's a long way back down to third place, which is still Hare in 4:29. Then Nigel Hardy in 3:17. John Richards is just behind him, but I have a suspicion that he's been lapped. Cowley and Dave Taylor are well placed, and Dave tapping. Apart from that, there's not much challenge. Mike Close, almost a lap up on those drivers. Looks like we've only really got 2 red tops, or 3 red tops left in this race. 199, Mike Close, 471 Bobby Burns, and 317 Nigel Hardy. Yes, they are the only 3 remaining red tops in this race. Plenty of blues left in as the 2-lap marker goes out. 2 laps left for Mike Close. You can see Burns, they're really throwing the car into the turn in second place, that white and red 471 car. He's got a long way to make up with only a lap and a half to go. Less than that now as Mike Close comes around the 4th turn. Into the final lap now goes Mike Close. And it looks like the Reds are going to dominate here at Sheffield. In fact, we're getting a mixture at the moment of Reds and white tops qualifying. Although I think that's going to change a little here in Heat 2. Some of the blues getting through at last. 199, Mike Close is the winner. Second place, number 471, Bobby Burns. Not quite such a close race as the first one. That is the race winner though, 199, Mike Close. Second place, 471, Bobby Burns. Third place, I think, 429, Hare. And 4th place, Nigel Hardy. And it looks as if we've got plenty of blue tops through from that one, but several reds out of it. Dave Miller, Bert Finnegan, both parked on the home straight there with Dan Clarke parked on the back straight. So we're going to get some interesting cars in the Consolation race, along with Richard Ainsworth. So that's race number 2. Bobby Burns just waits to go into the pits. He's second, and the race winner is number 199, Mike Close. Well, let's now take a look at the official finishing order for race 2. 8 qualifiers going through to the final, and they are as follows. First, number 199, Mike Close. Second, 471, Bobby Burns. Third, in fact, was Nigel Hardy in 317. Fourth was Jim Richards in 16. We're not sure whether that's Jim or John. 5th place was 73, Rob Cowley. 6th was 474, Phil Hemmingway. 7th was 136, Dave Taylor. And 8th was 412, Dave Tapping. Incidentally, 9th was 33, Peter Falding. And 10th was 429, Hare, P. Hare. We don't have a first name for Mr. Hare, but indeed he had been lapped and was in 10th place, not high up in the order as I had. OK, that's the official results then of race 2. Looking now for a further 8 qualifiers. And those cars are out for Heat 3 now in this Formula 1 Willie Harrison Trophy meeting at Overton. Our first trip to Sheffield, but I'm sure after what we've seen today, it will be our last. Frankie Wainman, sporting the silver roof this year as national points champion, 2,390 points in 84. And that was a good distance clear of John Lund in second place in 1,705 and a half, for good measure. John Lund on the outside of Wainman, 53. 2 red tops directly in front of us now. Looks like Rod Falding on the inside, 33. Yellow is setting off now on the rolling lap. 62 out there, Robbie Craig. Just behind him, 485, Terry Jackson.
No Harry Smith in this one. Harry, unfortunately, suffering.
And Harry Smith was scheduled to go in this one, but he's out of racing for the day.
Holding on the Willie Harrison.
John Lund just going past the camera, and a group of novice drivers at the back. The white tops with the black crosses are the novices, and in their opening meetings they can go at the back of the field to get out of the way rather than going on the front of the grid. So no less than 4 novices, 61, 312s, 96 and 378. We have one there. Looks like Wayne Handley, 378. And another one, 5th.
National points leader.
Novice, and a 6th, Peter Walker, 187.
53 Jopling, very
And
fast
339.
And the
So that should be
novice drivers
interesting.
right at the back of the pack here. 6
With all
of them.
these novice graded drivers
Not looking
in the
for,
race.
I want to roll balls.
Well, the green flag's down and the race is underway. Leading off is 536 in the whites. 536 leads going into the bend. There's the cars coming through, 104 going past Warren Taylor. But the dust really is rising now as the cars come through. Indeed, I think I got the wrong name, but 104, not Warren Taylor, of course. John Howell looking good in the 366 car. And quite a pile-up on that turn. 2 whites stalling the mid-track. 177 Alan Nickolls is clear. Frankie Wainman's not too far off the pole position now. 36 Rod Falding in the thick of the action there with the blue tops. Just behind him is 156. And that is the car of Graham Blundell. Toppers on this one, of course, 104 is Warren Jackson. Graham Blundell looking up on the turn, and he's blocked Frankie Wainman in 2-1-2, the national points champion, getting in trouble. One of the novices going past, so Wainman with quite a handicap now to make up. The race leader there, 485, Terry Jackson, as the yellow flags come out, they're being waved. Almost go around in single file. There's some problems around the track then. Now, as I can see it at the moment, Les Mitchell in 499 has pulled up on the home straight. There's a group of cars there on the turn. Looks like a couple of whites, plus Graham Blundell. On the back straight, 3 cars abandoned. Stu Gray, 274, one of the whites. 202, Richard Mason, I think, as well, and the white top with its back up against the wires. There are the cars abandoned on the back straights. Stu Gray and Richard Mason. Green and yellows being shown together. The green, of course, being hidden from the driver's view by the yellow flag. In the meantime, one of the novice drivers has driven off the track, 339, pulling out of the race.
Unusual to see.
Waiting for this race to start again. There's the green flag as the 485 car comes past. So it's 485 Terry Jackson out in front. Second place looks like Brian Toulson in 155. 213 not far behind. That's Des Chandler. Then 104 Warren Jackson, 33 36 rather Rod Falding. Almost got the wrong Falding. John Lund in 53 just behind. Stu Smith 139. Chesterfield-based driver, not too far back. Not to be confused, of course. Have to say it again with the world champion number 1. Jackson's looking good in 485. Jackson now from Chandler. Toulson just behind him, 155. And Rod Falding at 36. Leading red top at the moment, just in front of John Lund in 53. Now Chandler's fighting his way through on the inside, and Jackson's got himself into trouble. Toulson has also hit him. He's spun out on the turn into the fence. More problems there as one of those blue tops came through on the inside. And at the moment, Rod Falding's got one of the you see that red and white tape on the infield. Rod Falding's got it tied around the spoiler at the moment. Almost like one of these advertising aeroplanes with their banners behind. Rod Falding certainly will be quite a dash as he goes around. Oh, that streamer attached. Of course, it's going to be quite a distraction. Many cars behind the halfway mark in this race now. Stuart Smith 139 just behind him. There's the race leader, Des Chandler, 213. Looking down the list from last year, Des Chandler 37th in the points chart nationally with 305 points. So one of the middle order blue tops. Well clear at the moment though of John Lund. You can see Lund on the right of the picture there. There's some of the back markers. Frankie Wainman in the chasing pack, coming through the back markers after those problems early on after being caught by one of the cars on the 4th turn. There's Chandler. Stu Smith just spinning out one of the white tops. That's let blue top of Warren Jackson through. 2-1-3, Des Chandler. Second, 53, John Lund. Third, 36, Rod Falding. Fourth is Warren Jackson, 104. And then it looks like it could be Wainman. Rod Falding's still got the tape there. Looks like he's got that as a passenger for the rest of the race. Waiting for the markers to be brought out for the last laps, and indeed Rod Falding now slowing down. He's lost his street run, he's lost his speed. Coming up behind the 62 car of Robbie Craig, so the elder Falding out of this race. Des Chandler first from John Lund. We've had some good races so far. The result in doubt up till the checkered flag. Chandler just getting past the two back markers, and Lund has been blocked. Lund second place in the national points chart last year with those 1,705.5 points. The half point also recorded by Andy Stott during last season. Stott not here today. There's Chandler in 2-1-3. The white top of 4-3-4 just behind him, Wally Pittam, but he is lapped. The whites piled up on the outside, including Frankie Wainman, one of those cars parked on the outside line of the track. Chandler versus Lund now, with 3-lap marker now being held out by the starter here at Overton. Lund now less than a car length behind Chandler. And once more the back markers come into the question now, because if one of them gets in trouble, the other one might be able to capitalise. There's Warren Jackson freeing himself from trouble. High-speed racing over here at Sheffield as the cars come down the home straight now for what will be the penultimate time. On to the last lap. Now there's Lund's chance, going in with the bumper on the 2-1-3 car of Chandler. Can he find the gap on the inside? But Chandler's held on. He's got a white top to contend with, but he makes it. Well, an anxious moment there on the third turn of the final lap for Des Chandler as the 53 car finally put the bumper in. Recovered his composure though, and also the problem of having a white top right in front of him as he crossed the line to win Heat 3. Number 2-1-3, the first blue top winner of the day. And it's Des Chandler. Second place, number 53, John Lund. Well, let's now take a look at the top 8 finishers in Heat 3, and indeed the only 8 finishers all qualify for the final. First place, number 2-1-3, Des Chandler. Second, 53, John Lund. Third, 104, that's Warren Jackson. Fourth, number 96, George Daft. Fifth, number 434, Wally Pittam. Sixth was 312, Pete Lancaster. Seventh was 366, John Howell. And eighth was 378, Walter Handley. So plenty of white tops getting through there from fourth down to eighth, all solid batch of whites. But a blue, a red, another blue, and then those 5 whites all qualifying for the final. Be an interesting consolation. Race, we presume with only 4 qualifiers from each, but we await official confirmation of that. So this is the first of 2 consolation races. And setting off on the rolling lap, indeed coming down for the green flag now. Now the leading white tops, 536 leads off Bob Baker. And the novice drivers with the black crosses have now already been caught up by the other white tops. So confusing start to the race there. 136 Dave Taylor going through, 36 Rod Falding, 212 Frankie Wainman, 55 Bert Finnegan. So we've got the 84 and 83 national points champions out in this consolation. Also the Richard Ainsworth all collecting Bob Baker. Bob Baker was an early leader, but he's out of the race now. Oh, some spectacular stuff once more in the first consolation race. Looks like a car streaming straight across the centre green there. I don't think the rugby club will be too happy with that. Oh, look at that pile-up on the turn. Brian Toplin there in the blue. But Finnegan's in it, Frankie Wainman's in it. Well, if they can't get back in the race, that both of them are out of the entire meeting. Finnegan and Wainman, that's not a very common occurrence. So it's been a dreadful day for both of those former, or one present and one former national points champion. Finnegan on the left, Wainman just to the right of him, half hidden by that lamp pole. 3 whites also piled up there. Richard Ainsworth is parked just on the touchline, or rather on the try-line of the rugby pitch. So the top-rated drivers have all been eliminated at an early stage, because Rod Falding's also pulled up. And half the blues have gone. 370 there is about to lose that rear wheel unless he's very careful. He's definitely got problems there as the yellow flags are out waving there. got to stay in single file now. As the race restarts with Graham Atkinson out in front, Alan Scullen in second place, 45, the car that tried to climb onto the dog track the last time he came out. Third place, another yellow. Driving through, it looks like 314 in the yellow, I may be wrong.
Not made a lot of impression down the back straight.
In which case it will be Andy Maltus. Indeed it is, Andy Maltus. Finding a battle with Scullen. Over there, white's up, Scullen, we got the first rollover.
We're certainly doing well in this one here.
Maltus collecting Bob Baker, the 536 white top, and the yellow flags are once more out. This race is developing into a marathon. The driver is out, Andy Maltus is okay as Bob Baker comes over to him, have a few words with him. It looks like they're both all right, but an anxious moment there as Baker and Maltus tangled on the home straight. So the cars slow down to another rolling lap.
Actually, I think he's going to win this.
We're gradually losing the field. Interesting to see how many are left by the end of the race. Well, we believe that's Graham Atkinson in 248 is still the leader. Now, it's interesting that Dave Atkinson's out in this Consolation in 334. It looks as if they might have switched over to only in the top 6 qualifying from the heats.
Very tight on the start-finish line and the car over on its...
We haven't had official confirmation on that, but it looks as if only 6 cars are qualifying from the heats. One car that'll go out for a qualifying position in this Consolation is Frankie Wainman in 212, who nonetheless has brought the car back onto the track after looking very doubtful starter for this race. Indeed, he didn't go in that second attempt. Now, though, as the race is restarted at the third attempt, he comes back into it. So, getting a lucky break there, Frankie Wainman, with that crash, giving him the chance to get the car back into the race and a possible place in the final. Indeed, with the amount of cars on the track at the moment, I'd be surprised if Wainman doesn't make it all the way through. Mind you, he's had a rough day so far. Well, the cars are setting off now on the rolling lap as the third attempt now is made on the first Consolation race. 248 leads on. It's Graham Atkinson. Second place is Dave Atkinson in 334. Third place is one of the yellows. In fact, 2 yellows, fourth and fifth. Geoff Nickolls is up there, and Alan Scullen is third. They've locked together. In the meantime,
pulling off onto the comparative safety in the infield there.
Atkinson looking pretty well clear at the moment. 248 Atkinson leads from 334 the other Atkinson, Dave Atkinson. Third now is 212 Frankie Wainman. 136 Dave Taylor, 155 Brian Toulson. That's the race order at the moment, followed up by Kev Smith, novice in car 61. Could be on his way to the final. 215 Geoff Nickolls. And that is it. Yes, and then we come to Graham Atkinson again. There's Wainman going through. Not too many cars left in this race. Frankie Wainman looking set for a comfortable route through into the final here in the first Consolation race. Wainman now moving in on his prey in second place behind Graham Atkinson. He's already taken Dave Atkinson. And 248 is there. In the meantime, Dave Tapping's car has suddenly come off the fence. He was in one of the top 8 qualifying places early on, so it must be 6 from each of the heats. Atkinson from Wainman. Third is Toulson. Fourth is Taylor as that other blue top pulls up. That's Dave Tapping. So Tapping's out of the race in 412. Wainman now going through on the inside of Atkinson. No problem at all. See the Finnegan car abandoned on the inside. Now Dave Tapping is getting away from his own car over the fence. Might even have a chat with the cameraman while he's at it. There's Frankie Wainman now, something like 40 yards clear of the second place car. That's Brian Toulson in 156. That's the third place man you just saw there. The fourth place man, Dave Taylor, 136. Third currently is 248 car of Graham Atkinson. Well, he looks vulnerable at the moment as Dave Taylor goes through into third place. So it's Wainman from Toulson with Taylor third. Fourth is Atkinson. Fifth is Dave Atkinson. And sixth is Geoff Nickolls. Those are the only cars at the moment. Atkinson's relegated down the order. Looks like he could be on his way out. But they're changing around the qualifying procedures all the way through the afternoon here to cope with the number of cars that have come out for this opening day of the season here at Sheffield. Frankie Wainman with very few problems now. He's well clear. Second Brian Toulson still, but it's now by virtually the length of a straight that Wainman leads. Wainman cutting through on the inside of Atkinson to lap him. That's Dave Atkinson being lapped. And Wainman is lapping pretty well up through the field. He's got Geoff Nickolls in his sights next.
2-1-2 Frankie Wainman, not under any pressure at all now.
There is Nickolls just at the bottom of the pitch. There he is again. So Wainman is closing all the time in 2-1-2. Smiler Wainman, as they call him. Out in Yorkshire, comes from Silston.
The first three drivers have spread themselves out.
I believe not too far to be corrected if I'm wrong. Wainman closing it all the time with Nickolls. Looking to lap the man in the 2-1-5 car. 2-1-2, the national points champion. With a commanding lead. Coming back from the dead after he was out of the race and looked well and truly finished with the day's racing. Comes back in the third attempt at the first Consolation race to lead with 5 laps now remaining. Moving in on Geoff Nickolls. Down the back straight. Going inside the 2-1-5 car finally, so that's another car lapped. Really is a question now of how far up the field Wainman can lap. Next car on his target is Graham Atkinson in 2-4-8.
Nobody tried for any heroics in these first
Wainman just cruising around now. 4-lap marker coming out. And it looks pretty conclusive. Providing Wainman keeps going, he's got a very comfortable race win in his pocket. Now coming up to lap Graham Atkinson in 2-4-8. And just cuts through on the inside.
And keeps well clear.
Well now, how many cars left for Wainman to lap? Just in front of him is Dave Atkinson. He can lap him for a second time, I think. As Brian Tuplin's pulled up on the back straight. Tuplin is out. The 2-lap marker is showing, so there's a lap and a half left. Brian Tuplin has abandoned the car on the back straight. So that's another top-rated driver out. Frankie Wainman leads in 2-1-2 into the final lap. It looks as if Dave Taylor is going to pick up second.
So last lap coming up now.
Half a lap to go now for Wainman. Indeed, he's half a lap ahead of Taylor, who's just going into his final lap. Off the fourth turn for the final time, picking up the checkered flag, a very comfortable cruise through the order to win by half a lap. Frankie Wainman, and the man half a lap behind in second place was 136. Dave Taylor, looking for the third place man. I don't think he's across the line yet. Indeed, it's a good way down. It looks as if Wainman lapped all the way through the field virtually there. So it could be Geoff Nickolls in third. We'll await the official confirmation. Consolation race. George Braithwaite, Joe Jopling, Dan Clarke, Dave Miller. George Braithwaite in this one from the Red Tops, so plenty of talent at the back of the field as the green flag is dropped. Now setting off is 429 Hare and 293 Rob Allen. Out in front, and Hare is in the front as the dust rises here at Overton. Well, it definitely looks as if it was 6 qualifiers from each of the first 3 heats. We've been told that there will be 24 cars in total in the final, so it looks like it's going to be the first 3. Which the Consolations go through to the final. 299 getting himself a bit problems there. Pete Marsh, indeed, he was 8th in the first race. So obviously it was the top 6. 3 each. So Consolations. Richard Mason was in trouble back on the track. Smith going 3-1-3-9. Just saw Dave Miller briefly. There is the 429 car Hare. Hare leads from the white top in second. Third is 293 Rob Allen with the yellow top just behind. Inside 499. Car spun out on the inside. Looks like car through. That's Stu Matlock pulling out on the infield. More problems there. Another car's out. Rob Allen's in trouble. 293. 299 was the yellow top in trouble. Pete Marsh. And the yellow flags are out again as the tapes on the infield have been brought down by Stu Smith, the 139 driver. Pete Marsh is back in the race. Well, now let's see how long it takes before they can get this race fully underway again. Developing into a fairly drawn-out meeting here at Sheffield. The flags being shown now. There is one of the main problems, 293 Rob Allen's car across the track. Of course, one of the problems here is that since the cars aren't allowed to go too far onto the centre green, obviously there's not a lot of room if cars pile up to get out of the way. Whereas at some tracks you just simply seek sanctuary in the middle of the centre green. Here it's restricted, which means when there is a pile-up, they tend to stay in the way. Cars being sent through there on a faster run as the green flag is readied behind the yellow. We've seen plenty of flashing yellow lights and moving yellow flags here today as drivers have had to slow down into single file on numerous occasions. And the green flag's dropped once more. Hare is away. Second is Howell in 3.66. Third is Ian Higgins, 29. Then 33. Peter Falding, 2.02. Richard Mason. I think, though, he may be a fair way down the order after spinning out. Dave Mellor is the top red top at the moment. Mason hitting trouble on the back straight. Falding's moving through on the inside of Ian Higgins. Higgins collects the fence. So Captain Chaos moves down the order. Dave Mellor challenges on the inside. Just saw Danny Clarke coming through in 2.03. Mellor, Higgins, Hare's in the middle of that with several talented drivers just behind him. There's Jopling in 4.52 as the yellow top spun out, collecting Stu Smith in the process. That was 4.85, Terry Jansen. Falding coming through on the inside with the inside wheels over the curb, gets through in the first place in front of John Howell, the temporary race leader. So that's 33 from 3.66. Dave Mellor in third place in 3.04. Then comes Ian Higgins. The white top has spun out of John Howell. That advances Mellor into second. And the yellows come out again. And Pete Marsh's car is abandoned on the home straight. And once more we've got problems. Well, John Howell's car is being reversed off the back straight to allow the cars through, waiting now for yet another attempt at getting the race fully underway. There's Peter Falding, the race leader. Dave Mellor lies second in 3.04. Ian Higgins is still up there despite his spin out. John Howell, Danny Clarke, Joe Jopling. That's the order on the rolling map. I think some of those are further down the placings. A lap behind. 4.29 Hare is there, 92 George Braithwaite, 1.56 Graham Blundell, and 2.44 another white top. And that is the car of Mick Rogers. Those are the cars remaining in the race, not necessarily in an official order, but that is the actual order on the track. One or two of those drivers may be down the lap. I can't see too many obstructions at the moment. I don't know what they're waiting for, but the green flag is still not being readied. And indeed the red's gone out. The red flag is being waved. So the cars are being called into a halt.
Very, very dangerous indeed. It's certainly not our afternoon, is it?
Well, indeed, the situation was that the track official there sitting on that tyre, I think, was hit by car 244 as he pulled onto the infield, Mick Rogers. So that could well be the result, the reason why the race has been stopped. We're waiting for the restart now. Well, the cars are now waiting for the restart. Indeed, the entire race is being restarted from scratch with the cars lining up in grade order. You can see the reds are at the back once more. And Dave Mellor's car, number 304. And there at the front, 429 Hare. Still don't have a first name for Mr. Hare. And on the outside is 366 John Howell. Behind them is 244 Mick Rogers. I think the track staff will be keeping well out of the way. What happened was the guy from the track staff went out to the fence to inspect the bit that had fallen down, and Mick Rogers hit him. Well, the race is underway once more. Complete restart. John Howell leads in 366. Second is 244 Mick Rogers. Third is Hare in 429. Then comes 29 Ian Higgins, followed by Pete Morton looking down my list. Pete Morton there just in view. Then Peter Falding. You just saw him coming through on the inside of the yellow top. There he is once more with the blue spoiler, and the dust really is rising now here at Overton. Indeed, at the moment, the track staff are even waving the dust out of their eyes. John Howell first. Second is 244 Mick Rogers. Third is Hare in 429. Then Ian Higgins, Pete Morton, Pete Falding, Richard Mason, Graham Blundell, Dan Clarke. And there they are in view. This race well down the order. There is the gap for Blundell to drive through. Clarke's going to follow him through on the inside of Mason. He's about to lose quite a few places as the red tops go streaming through. There's Dave Mellor. The 304 car looking a little the worse for wear these days. Dan Clarke looking for the gap on the inside of Blundell, trying to force him out. Mellor's coming through though. Little Ford engine cars, still got plenty of pace in it. Behind them is George Braithwaite in car 92. There you see him. It's interesting, the last meeting that was held here at Sheffield was at Christmas time, and they had to abandon it because of fog. But at the moment they're certainly having problems seeing things on the home straight. As you can see, the dust is rising off this shale track. One of the warmest days of the year so far. Glorious weather here at Overton on the opening day of the Formula 1 season here in Yorkshire. Falding through into second place. Or is that third? Yes, indeed, it's 2.44 the leader. 1.56, Graham Blundell's hit the fence. So it's Mick Rogers leading 2.44. Second is Peter Falding in 33. Third is 3.66, John Howell. Then it's Hare in 4.29. Pete Morton, and 2.44 goes straight out to the fence and straight through it. Remains to be seen whether any yellows are going to come out, because that is a fair amount of damage to the fence, and the track staff looking rather glum around us because that's another long job. Obviously we'll edit things down here as we go. I can tell you this meeting is running a little long now. It's been running for 2.5 hours. Unfortunately the track staff are being well and truly worked here today, as car after car is inflicting damage on the fence, and part of it fell down indeed, and that was the reason for this race having to be restarted. So the track staff having to work very hard here today. Halfway stage of the race now, 2.99 the leader, Pete Marsh, with Pete Falding having spun out and back in the race, but he's at the back. 3.66 John Howell. There is Falding, well down the order now. He's behind all the reds, so it's 2.99 Pete Marsh who leads. Second is 3.66 John Howell, the white top in second place. Third looks like Dan Clarke, although he could be a lap down. Marsh going through in 2.99. Oh, there's the challenge from the white top. There's Braithwaite, but in the meantime, the white top has got through. John Howell on the inside of Pete Marsh through into first place. 3.66 from 2.99. Howell from Marsh, then Clarke 2.03, 4.29 Hare, 4.52 Joe Jopling, 92 George Braithwaite, 33 Peter Falding, and he's passed Dave Mellor once more. Well, that is the current order on the track, although one or two of those drivers could be a lap down. 4 laps to go now. Second place is being given to 2.99, it seems. As the starter goes down through the line at the moment, Clarke has just overtaken 2.99. Now the 3-lap marker coming out. John Howell leads. And indeed, second is Dan Clarke. And 2.99 appears to be marked down the order, a lap down. He's not been pointed to by the starter. But it's Howell from Dan Clarke nonetheless in first and second. As the 2-lap marker comes out, can the red top of Dan Clarke from Rothwell in Northamptonshire catch up with that white top? There's Marsh being challenged now by Joe Jopling in the 4.52 car. And Jopling edges through on the inside. In the meantime, there is the race leader, John Howell. 1 lap to go. Dan Clarke building up the rest. He tries to get through. Joe Jopling's through into third. And there's Howell. Holding on, coming into the final turns. He's just got Mellor in front of him, who is a back marker in this race. Mellor is not going to be in the final today. Howell wins. Second is Clarke. Third is Jopling. That's the unofficial top 3. Looks like Hare and then Falding. But there we have it. The race winner, 3.66 John Howell. I think that's the only thing we can be certain of in that race. And they've got another repair job to do on that fence, with that car having gone straight through it on the 4th turn. The winner, 3:66 John Howell, and the second place man was 2:03 Dan Clarke. That's the official, well, that's the unofficial first two. We'll give you the official 5, or 6 in fact I think it is, that's going through from this race. We keep hearing conflicting reports, together with the official finishing order of heat.
92 George Braithwaite. And then we get back to the superstars.
Well, as the cars come out for the grand final, you can see there's quite a cluster of top talent in this one.
And the Norris drivers is...
A couple of novices indeed have made it all the way through to the final of this Willie Harrison Trophy here at Sheffield. As the green flag drops, it's John Richards first, second is Gary Walker, third is Mick Crocker in 4.30, going through on the inside of his fellow white top car there, number 7 Phil Bicknell. Well, they haven't watered the track in the gap between this and the last of the consolation races. With the result, it's getting very dry out there, and you can see the base of the track is beginning to show through on the turns. You can see anything grey there, that's the base underneath the shale. Bicknell taking a broadside swipe. There's a yellow car, yellow top going over 2 rollovers on the turn. Well, 2 cars have gone. Phil Bicknell's in the middle of it. Number 7, he's okay, but those 2 cars have both gone over, and once more we're seeing an increasingly familiar sight here at Sheffield this afternoon. Yellow flags being waved out at the drivers, telling them slow down into single file while we sort this one out. One of the cars indeed has righted itself after spinning over. That yellow top is now just getting itself down off the fence.
I can't see the other one that's turned over.
The yellow top trying to remove itself. 4.74 there. That car, that was quite a spin there for 4.74. Phil Hemmingway. So Hemmingway is desperately trying to get that car off the ropes. Let's take a look at the other car that spun over. It's a white top car. Well, the car is being righted, can't quite identify it yet, and it's 429, it looks like it's Hare's car. So, a marvellous bit of action there on the turn between 429 and 474, Phil Hemmingway and Hare.
We don't want any accidents with stuff flying
I repeat
around.
that we don't have a first name, unfortunately, for that driver.
Right, well, that looks as though...
But they're both back and they're about to be removed from the track. It looks now as if when the race gets back underway that it will be number 16 in first place, John Richards, with 3.34 Dave Atkinson just behind, plus car number 312 Pete Lancaster and 181. Well, as Phil Hemmingway's car is removed from the fence, let's take another look at that crash. As you can see, both cars going up, and that's a really spectacular action. It looks as if Hemmingway even went end over end. Well, the cars are coming around on another rolling lap. The green flag once more being held behind the yellow. There it is, the race is back underway. There's car number 16, John Richards, who leads off with 3.12 in second place. 3.12, the car of Pete Lancaster. Third place is 1.81, Gary Walker. And Mick Crocker's just being overhauled by Peter Falding. He's already up into 4th place. Here's the blue top 33. There's Richards going through some of the back markers already. Richards is in there somewhere as the dust begins to fly here at Ollerton. We hope this doesn't affect your viewing too much. Certainly any shots on the bends are obscured tremendously by the dust. We've done maybe a bit of water on the track. Cars going through Danny Clarke, Bobby Burns, John Lund also in view. A car spun out there. It looks like it's Phil Bicknell's car's been collected. Falding certainly working his way through the order. Yes, indeed, it's John Richards and Phil Bicknell locking up on the turn. That gives us a new race leader then. In the meantime, an axle has been lost in the back straight. Car going out wide on the turn. And there is the car that's lost its axle. The axle is down to the left, abandoned on the back straight infield. So once more, mayhem reigns here at Olerton as the cars are finding problems in the dust. I wonder if some of these drivers are having problems seeing themselves. It's difficult, I'm sure enough, for you to see on your TVs. Imagine what it's like with some of the drivers in the dust here at Sheffield. In the meantime, that car on the back straight is going to have to be removed. It looks like it is 312, Pete Lancaster's car. He was well placed before that incident. And another car that's been damaged, Richard Ainsworth. Well, he's lost his rear tyre there. It looks like he's also twisted the bonnet as well. Looks as if the front section of the chassis might be a bit twisted. Certainly the bumper is. So Ainsworth appears to be out of things. So once more we have another stoppage. I think we're averaging 3 stoppages a race so far. And I think it's a testimony to the action. Look at the back end of that Pete Lancaster car. There's just nothing left, is there? It's the second time that a car's lost an axle here today at Sheffield. I think we went through an entire season last year without anybody losing a complete axle unit. This happened twice today here at Olerton. We're getting plenty of action, plenty of racing, but also plenty of restarts.
Oh, certainly a lot of work for somebody there on that car. No back axle and front axle, everything's sat underneath it. I certainly don't think it's going to solve a lot of problems looking under the bonnet at the moment. Right, are we starting next time round, Mr. Starter?
Well, the car's come through before the starter as he readies the green flag.
Right, so
the leader as the race is restarted is 33, Peter Falding.
Followed by 213, there's Chandler.
And there is Falding from Rotherham, just up the road.
In a very handy third spot.
Second place is 213, Des Chandler. Third place, Willie Harrison in car number 2. It would be a little ironic if Willie were to win the trophy dedicated to him. It's nonetheless good to see the number 2 car back on the tracks. Falding leads off Chandler, then Willie Harrison, it looks like John Toulson, Frankie Wainman, Bobby Burns, John Lund, Danny Clarke, Mike Close and George Braithwaite, with Dave Taylor just behind him, 136. Falding, sending a plume of dust behind it. Looks like a fine race between him and his fellow blue top, Des Chandler. Somewhere in there's Frankie Wainman. Chandler's just caught Phil Bicknell's car going into the back straight fence. Let's hope that's not going to cause another stoppage. Dan Clarke just heading Mike Close there, and that shot's 2:03 from 1:99. But it is the blue top car of Peter Falding who's leading, and by a considerable margin over the second place man, Willie Harrison. Harrison second, third is Wainman, fourth is Burns, fifth Toulson, sixth Lund, seventh is Clarke, then comes Close, Braithwaite, Warren Jackson, Dave Taylor and Joe Jopling. That's the order at the moment. Peter Falding coming inside the white top tail ender. Falding's through, it's one of the novice drivers, number 96. Peter Falding well clear. Falding indeed has something like a 50-60 yard advantage over Willie Harrison. That was Falding going through. There is Harrison. And Falding going through on the inside of Mick Crocker. He's made an impact here on Screen Sport in recent weeks. That white top 430 car certainly caught our attention a few times. Just myself, but also the rest of the crew here. And the Falding are also making an impression. That blue top is surely going to go red this year, just like his father's. But the dust, we apologise for if it is affecting your viewing. As you can see from our high-level camera, it's a little bit easier, but once you get down onto the turns, there's that thick fog. It's almost like an old London Pea Super. Peter Falding leads. Willie Harrison is there in car number 2. He is not second anymore. He's dropped down the order, as you can see. Second now is Frankie Wainman, and Willie Harrison indeed is third, which gives you a measure of Peter Falding's lead. He's entering the first turn as those cars come out of the fourth. Falding halfway down the back straight, and it's a long way down to Frankie Wainman. You can see on that wide shot, there's Falding just coming out of that fourth turn, with Wainman halfway through the third and fourth bends. Burns and Harrison fighting for third place, with fifth John Toulson, sixth John Lund, seventh Mike Close, eighth Dan Clarke. That's the end of the red tops, apart from the white and blue. Then we go on to the rest, which is Braithwaite and Jopling. Falding looking good. I think he's already won one race before here on Spring Sport this season in our programmes from Northampton. I think he had a win in one of those. Peter Falding off the turn. He's looking very, very cool as the 3-lap marker comes out. It looks too far for Wainman to catch. Wainman had to come through the consolation race. That he won by a very comfortable margin. This time, though, he's going to catch that blue top. Peter Falding using the blue top grading start, very much as Harry Smith did last year, to use as a launch pad to red top status. Peter Falding leads with Frankie Wainman second. Third is Bobby Burns. Fourth, Willie Harrison. Fifth is John Lund. Sixth, John Toulson. Seventh, Mike Close. Eighth is Dan Clarke. That's the top 8 at the moment here at Overton, with just 2 laps. Indeed, the 1-lap marker coming out, where it's the final lap. The checkered flag being readied by the starter as Peter Falding comes around the turn. He's got the traffic in front of him. Wainman won't be able to make an assault down the home straight. It's a win in 33 for Peter Falding. Second place in 2-on-2, Frankie Wainman. Then comes Bobby Burns in 4.71. Willie Harrison in car number 2. Behind him, John Lund in 53. Then 2.86, John Toulson. 1.99, Mike Close. And 2.03, Dan Clarke. That's my finishing 8. Every one of them are red top, with the exception of the winner, number 33, Peter Falding. Well, we've seen some marvellous action, some marvellous entertainment in this Willie Harrison Trophy meeting. Willie getting 4th place in the final by my reckoning, but a good race and an excellent win for the locally based driver from Rotherham, Peter Falding. Looks like Rod, his father's going to have some opposition in the red top berth this year.
Good racing there from all the top drivers.
Well, there is the remains of Pete Lancaster's car. He's lost axles front and rear. A lot of work to be done on that car to get it back in racing action. At least the body shell is intact. Let's now take a look at the full results of the grand final here at Overton for the Willie Harrison Trophy. First place, number 33, Pete Falding. Second, number 2-1-2, Frankie Wainman. Third, 4.71, Bobby Burns. Then come Willie Harrison himself, number 2, 53, John Lund. 2.86, John Toulson. 1.99, Mike Close. 2.03, Dan Clarke, and filling 9th and 10th, 4.52, Joe Jopling, and number 92, George Braithwaite. So with the exception of the first place man, an all red top finishing order in the top 10, but it was the blue top that came through. Pete Falding to win. Of course, Frankie Wainman, silver, actually, when he can't take his National Points Championship into account. Otherwise, he would be red. So Peter Falding, the winner of the Willie Harrison Trophy here at Overton. There we see some of the red tops. Joe Jopling just going past, 4.52. Mike Close and John Lund coming towards us. Close on the right, 1.99. Lund on the left in 53. Behind them, Bobby Burns, 4.71. And Bert Finnecans come back for more after failing to finish in his first 2 drives in the heat and consolation race. Falding leads them off, but the official leader will be 5.36, Bob Baker. Falding has to make a quick start. He's got to get up at the lap. The whole field to score. The whole field to win, that is. He's got to lap up to 8th place to get in the points. Of course, all points scored by him in this are doubled. Bicknell, Mason and Dave Atkinson in 3.34, all having problems on the home straight as Baker leads off around the turn. Finnecan in 55 has got in front of Frankie Wainman. He started in front of Frankie Wainman. He's holding him off. There are the red tops. Toulson being edged out 2.86. Finnegan's through in 55. There's a pile up on the turn. The Gary Heap's in trouble, along with, it looks like, 2-on-3 Des Chandler. Now the question that's on quite a few people's lips at the moment is what happened to Dave Berresford? He won the first race and we haven't seen him since. Nonetheless, plenty of star talent out in this final. You may notice as the cars go around that John Toulson, 2.86, has lost his spoiler. So the cars come down the straight. There's Close, Mellor, Lund. Look like Dave Tapping going through as well, 4-2. Leader is 2-on-3, Des Chandler. Second, Dave Atkinson, 3.34. Falding is gradually moving up the order. Is Warren Jackson. He's not too badly placed, although most of the Reds have got past indeed. A good way further down than seemed at first. Well, they did put some water on the track between the Grand Final and the Grand National, but it's not done the job. This indeed takes place the day after the horse racing Grand National. I don't think there's any case of the last suspect, although one or two drivers may claim that there's one or two suspects around. Chandler in 2-1-3, looking good coming into the turn. As you can see, that track has been worn away, and the base is showing through now. Well, just at the start, I went out to show the order. Kev Smith crashed into the safety vents. There you see the Smith car just about. I do once more apologise for the dust here at Overton. Always difficult in daylight meetings with the sun beating down to keep the track wet. And there is John Toulson without the spoiler. You can see the supports on the roof. There's Peter Falding also going through. Toulson just in front of Richard Ainsworth. 145's parked out on the fence. And there's Peter Falding. It looks like he's going to get up into some useful points. As long as he gets into top half dozen, it'll be worthwhile this Grand National race. Pick up the double. It really is getting difficult to see as they come out of the turns. There's Chandler in 2-1-3. It really is getting difficult to tell who's who out there. And indeed, it looks as if there is a different leader being picked out by the starter. It looks as if he's picking out Mike Close in 199. In the dust, it's not easy to decide, but the starter definitely seems to be favouring Mike Close. Mike Close first in 199, confirmed. He's just on the right of the picture there in the yellow car with the red roof. And there he is, Mike Close. Well, it looks to me that Chandler had the lead, but indeed it was close, confirmed by the starting marshal. Going to the final 4 laps of this Grand National qualifying heat here at Sheffield. These races at the end of the Formula 1 meetings all adding together, accumulating in the Grand National final at Rochdale later in the year. Mike Close leads at 199. Looking down the order in second place, it's Dave Taylor. Although I don't want to stick my neck out too far after David Des Chandler was the leader earlier. Third is John Lund. Fourth, Bobby Burns. Fifth, Frankie Wainman. And sixth, Bert Finnegan. That's unofficial. That could well be it. Well, there's definitely other 5 cars chasing the man out in front. 199, Mike Close. Mike Close picked up the win in Heat 2 off the Willie Harrison Trophy. Got 7th in the Grand Final, so he'll be picking up some pretty good points here. He picked up 12 in his heat. And a couple more points in the final. Close now lapping and tapping. How about that for a rhyme? Unintentional, I assure you. Dave Atkinson, 334's picked up in the fence. 499 and 213 in trouble. Chandler out in the fence. There's the checkered flag. The checkered flag shows amidst what you can only describe as confusion here at Sheffield, because it is very, very difficult to see precisely what is going on out there. 199 is the winner, Mike Close. And so that's the final race of a very eventful day here at Sheffield. And he's opened up in fine style.
Right, well, coming up to the line there to receive the last award of the afternoon, 199, Mike Close.
But I think you can only sum up today in one way. It's been quite a day.